When you look in the mirror and gently pull the skin on your cheek or the back of your hand, you might notice it does not snap back as quickly as it used to. That subtle loss of bounce is not just a natural part of getting older. It is a signal from your body that the internal mesh holding everything together is getting a little tired. We often think of wrinkles as something that happens to us from the outside, like weather or gravity pressing down. But the truth is, your skin is being constantly rebuilt from the inside, every single hour of the day. There is a specific building process that keeps your skin firm, and it relies entirely on one critical ingredient to work. If you are missing this ingredient, the repair crew in your body simply cannot do its job, no matter how many expensive creams you apply to the surface. I am Dr. Susan Blake. Welcome to Her Health After 60. I've also added a helpful guide to the Senior Health Guide app, linked below. Now, let's dive in. Before we get to the science, I have a question for you. When you look at your skin, is there one specific area, like your neck or maybe your hands, that concerns you the most? I would love to hear from you in the comments. Let's talk about what is actually happening under the surface. Imagine your skin is like a beautiful, comfortable mattress. Inside that mattress, you have springs that keep it bouncy and firm. In your body, those springs are a protein called collagen. When we are young, we have an endless supply of these springs. But as we move past 50 and 60, our bodies stop making them as efficiently. The springs start to rust or break, and the mattress begins to sag. That sagging is what we see as a wrinkle or a loose fold of skin. Now, here is the good news. Your body never actually forgets how to make new springs. It just runs out of the raw materials needed to build them. There is one specific vitamin that acts as the foreman for this entire construction project. Without it, your cells physically cannot weave the collagen fibers together. It is chemically impossible. This vitamin is the spark that turns a loose collection of proteins into firm structural tissue. This brings me to a story about a woman named Margaret from Florida. Margaret is 64 years old and has spent a wonderful life enjoying the outdoors. She loves gardening and walking on the beach, but she started noticing that the skin on her chest and arms was looking very thin, almost like crepe paper. She told me she felt like her skin was just giving up. She had tried heavy moisturizers and oils, but they just sat on top of her skin without changing the texture. Margaret assumed this was just the price of living in the Sunshine State. We took a look at what she was eating. Margaret had a very standard diet. She ate plenty of toast, chicken, and processed sides, but she rarely ate raw fruits or vegetables. She thought taking a multivitamin in the morning covered her bases. But when we really looked at her intake, she was barely getting any active natural vitamin C. She was getting just enough to prevent illness, but nowhere near enough to repair decades of sun exposure. Stay with me here. This distinction is vital. There is a massive difference between surviving and thriving. You might not have a deficiency that shows up on a standard blood test, but your skin might be starving for the tools it needs to repair itself. Vitamin C is the one vitamin every woman needs to prevent wrinkles from the inside because it is the activator for collagen production. Think of it like baking a cake. You can have all the flour and sugar in the bowl, but if you forget the baking powder, that cake will never rise. It will remain flat and dense. Vitamin C is your body's baking powder for skin. It takes the proteins you eat and transforms them into that bouncy, elastic structure we want. Margaret decided to make a change. We did not put her on a complicated regimen. We simply added foods rich in vitamin C to every single meal. She started having sliced red peppers with her eggs, kiwi fruit as a snack, and a big salad with dinner. It wasn't an overnight miracle because skin takes time to turn over. But after about 3 months, Margaret noticed something surprising. It wasn't just that her face looked brighter. The crepey texture on her arms had started to firm up. The skin felt thicker and more resilient when she pinched it. She was giving her body the fuel it needed to rebuild the mattress springs. Many people assume that oranges are the best source for this, but that is a bit of a myth. While oranges are good, they also come with a fair amount of natural sugar. For our skin, we want high nutrient density without spiking our blood sugar, because sugar can actually stiffen collagen fibers. That is why vegetables like bell peppers, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts are such powerful tools for your skin. They offer a massive dose of vitamin C without the sugar rush. Let me introduce you to another perspective from a woman named Sophia who lives in Italy. Sophia is 70 years old and has the most radiant, smooth complexion. I met her during a medical conference, and we got to talking about her lifestyle. Sophia does not use expensive serums. She uses olive oil and eats a diet that is incredibly rich in fresh, seasonal produce. She told me that in her village, they eat tomatoes, leafy greens, and lemons every single day. Sophia's story highlights something we call bioavailability. This means how well your body can actually absorb and use the nutrients you give it. When you eat a synthetic tablet, your body absorbs some of it, but often a lot gets flushed away. When Sophia eats a tomato with olive oil or a lemon squeezed over spinach, she is getting vitamin C wrapped in water and fiber. Her body recognizes it immediately and puts it to work. She isn't just preventing wrinkles, she is feeding her skin the antioxidant protection it needs to fight off damage from the environment. I want you to hear this clearly. Your skin is the last organ to receive nutrients. When you eat vitamin C, your body prioritizes your heart, your brain, and your liver. They get first dibs on the nutrients because they are essential for keeping you alive. Your skin gets the leftovers. So, if you are only getting a small amount of vitamin C, your internal organs will use it all up, and your skin will remain hungry. That is why we need to be consistent with our intake throughout the day to ensure there is enough surplus to reach the surface. One of the biggest enemies of this vitamin is stress. When you are stressed, your body burns through vitamin C rapidly. It uses it to make stress hormones like cortisol. It is almost like dipping into your savings account to pay for an emergency repair. If you are chronically stressed, or if you don't sleep well, your body is constantly draining your vitamin C reserves. This leaves very little left over for collagen production. This is often why we look so tired and gray after a difficult week. It is not just fatigue. It is a temporary depletion of the very nutrient that keeps our skin glowing. This connection between stress and skin is profound. I once worked with a patient named Barbara from Texas. Barbara was 62 and going through a very stressful time helping care for her grandchildren. She felt she had aged 10 years in just 6 months. Her skin looked dull, and the lines around her mouth were deepening rapidly. She felt guilty for even worrying about her appearance when she had so many responsibilities. But looking in the mirror made her feel even more exhausted. We talked about how stress was acting like a thief, stealing her nutrients. Barbara couldn't change her stressful situation immediately, but she could change how she fueled her body through it. We focused on flooding her system with color. We focused on dark berries, dark leafy greens, and citrus. These foods provided the vitamin C she needed to replenish what the stress was using up. Barbara also learned that vitamin C is water-soluble. This means your body cannot store it for later. You cannot eat a crate of oranges on Sunday and expect it to last you through the week. You have to replenish the supply every single day, ideally at every meal. It is a daily commitment to yourself. Barbara started keeping a bowl of washed berries and sliced peppers in her fridge so she could grab them easily. Slowly, the color returned to her cheeks. She didn't look as drawn and depleted. She was refilling the tank. There is another fascinating aspect to how this vitamin works, and it has to do with protection. Think of an apple. If you cut an apple and leave it on the counter, it turns brown within minutes. That browning is oxidation. It is the same process that rusts metal. But if you squeeze lemon juice on that apple, it stays white and crisp. Why? because the vitamin C in the lemon sacrifices itself to stop the oxidation. Your skin is like that apple. Every day it is exposed to sunlight, pollution, and even the oxygen we breathe. These things try to rust your skin cells, causing spots and breakdown. Vitamin C acts as the shield. It neutralizes the damage before it can settle in and become a permanent wrinkle or a dark spot. It is your personal bodyguard against the environment. However, there is a catch. For this bodyguard to work effectively, it needs a partner. Just like a lock needs a key, vitamin C works best when it is paired with another specific nutrient. Alone, it is powerful. But together, these two nutrients create a synergy that can significantly boost your skin's ability to hold moisture and maintain its thickness. Many women get plenty of one but completely ignore the other, which creates an imbalance. We often focus so much on the star ingredient that we forget about the supporting cast. In the next part of our discussion, I want to show you exactly what this partner nutrient is and how easily you can add it to your routine. It is something you probably already have in your kitchen, but you might not be eating enough of it to see a difference. Don't miss this. If you start increasing your vitamin C, but your skin still feels dry and paper thin, it is very likely you are missing this second piece of the puzzle. It acts as the seal. While vitamin C builds the structure, this other nutrient helps lock in the hydration so the structure doesn't dry out and crack. Let's go back to the idea of the mattress. We have built the springs with vitamin C. Now we need the stuffing and the soft top layer that makes it comfortable. If you have great springs but no padding, the mattress is still lumpy. The padding in your skin comes from healthy fats and the ability to hold water. As we age, our skin loses its ability to hold on to water, which is why dry skin is such a common complaint after 60. Imagine a grape becoming a raisin. The structure is the same, but the water is gone. To keep our cells looking like grapes and not raisins, we need to support the cell membrane. This is the outer shell of the cell that holds everything inside. When that shell is strong, your skin looks plump and smooth. When it is weak, it leaks moisture, and the skin looks flat. The nutrient that pairs with vitamin C to protect the shell is vitamin E. But before you run out to buy a supplement, you need to understand the right way to get it, because synthetic versions often don't work the same way as the natural ones found in food. Nature packages these things perfectly. When you eat an almond or an avocado, you are getting a complex mix of compounds that your body recognizes. When you eat these foods in their natural form, your body knows exactly what to do. The fiber in the almond slows down digestion, allowing the vitamin E to be absorbed steadily rather than all at once. This steady absorption is crucial because vitamin E is fat-soluble. Unlike vitamin C, which dissolves in water, vitamin E dissolves in fat. This means it loves to hang out in the fatty layers of your cell walls. It sits there like a guard dog, protecting the cell from drying out or getting damaged by the sun. This partnership is where the magic really happens. Imagine a team of 2 workers fixing a roof. One worker, vitamin C, is bringing up the new shingles to replace the broken ones. The other worker, vitamin E, is sealing the edges so rain doesn't leak in. If you only have the shingles but no sealant, the roof will still leak eventually. If you have the sealant but no shingles, the roof will collapse. You need both working together to have a house that stands strong against the weather. Let me share a story about a woman named Elena who lives in Lyon, France. Elena is 68 and has always taken great pride in her appearance. However, she noticed that despite her best efforts, her skin was developing dark spots and feeling very rough, almost like sandpaper. Elena loved her morning routine of coffee and a croissant, but she rarely ate nuts or seeds because she found them hard to chew. She was getting almost no vitamin E to protect her skin cells. We made a tiny adjustment to her breakfast. Instead of just the pastry, We asked her to have a small bowl of yogurt mixed with ground sunflower seeds and a handful of berries. The berries provided the vitamin C, and the sunflower seeds provided the vitamin E. By grinding the seeds, we solved the chewing problem and made the nutrients easier for her body to absorb. Within a few months, Elena told me the rough patches on her cheeks had smoothed out. Her skin felt softer to the touch, like fabric that had been properly conditioned. She wasn't just covering up the dryness, she was fixing the moisture barrier from the inside. This brings up an important practical point about digestion. As we get older, our stomach acid can become weaker, making it harder to break down whole nuts or tough skins. If you find almonds or sunflower seeds difficult to digest, try soaking them in water overnight. This softens them and activates enzymes that make the nutrients much more available to your body. You can also use nut butters, provided they don't have added sugar or hydrogenated oils. Just a spoonful of almond butter with some apple slices is a perfect skin-boosting snack. I want you to hear this clearly. You do not need to eat a mountain of food to get these benefits. A small handful of sunflower seeds or almonds contains enough vitamin E to make a significant difference. It is about consistency, not quantity. If you eat a huge bag of nuts once a week, it won't help as much as having a small amount every single day. Your skin needs a steady supply of protection, not a flood followed by a drought. Now let's talk about something that often gets overlooked when we discuss wrinkles: circulation. You can eat all the right vitamins, but if your blood isn't carrying them efficiently to your skin cells, they won't do much good. Blood flow is the delivery trucks for your construction materials. If the roads are blocked, the materials sit in the warehouse. This reminds me of a patient named Linda from Oregon. Linda is 72 and was frustrated by what she called her turkey neck. She felt the skin on her neck was sagging much faster than her face. She was also dealing with cold hands and feet, which is often a sign that circulation isn't optimal. Linda sat for long periods reading and watching TV, which meant her blood flow was sluggish. We worked on getting her blood moving gently. We didn't ask her to run a marathon. Instead, we focused on simple movements she could do right in her living room. Linda started doing gentle neck stretches and shoulder rolls while she watched her favorite shows. She also made sure to drink warm water with lemon throughout the day instead of ice water. The warmth helps expand blood vessels, improving flow, while the lemon provides that essential vitamin C. Pay attention to this part. The skin on your neck is thinner than the skin on your face, and it has fewer oil glands. This means it shows signs of aging faster if we neglect it. Linda found that by combining her nutrient-rich diet with these gentle movements, the skin on her neck started to look less loose. It wasn't a facelift, but the tone improved significantly because she was finally delivering oxygen and nutrients to that specific area. There is a simple exercise you can do at home to help with this, and it is safe for almost everyone. Sit comfortably in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. Gently tilt your head back to look at the ceiling, just until you feel a light stretch in the front of your neck. Hold that for 3 seconds, then slowly lower your head back to neutral. Do this 5 times. It helps stimulate blood flow to the neck and jawline. Always move slowly and stop if you feel any dizziness or pain. Another factor that drains the life out of our skin is sugar. I mentioned earlier that sugar can stiffen collagen fibers. Think of caramelized onions. When you cook onions with sugar, they turn brown and get sticky. A similar process happens in your body called glycation. When there is too much sugar in your blood, it attaches to your collagen and makes it brittle. Brittle collagen snaps instead of bouncing back, leading to deep, permanent wrinkles. This does not mean you can never have a treat, but it does mean we need to be smart about it. If you are going to have something sweet, try to have it after a meal that includes fiber and healthy fats. The fiber slows down the sugar absorption, so you don't get a massive spike that damages your skin proteins. Let's connect all these dots. We have talked about vitamin C as the builder, vitamin E as the protector, and blood flow as the delivery system. But there is one final piece: hydration. I know you hear this all the time, but let me explain why it matters specifically for wrinkles. Imagine a sponge. When a sponge is dry, it is hard, shriveled, and rough. If you bend it, it might even crack. When you add water, it expands, becomes soft, and you can bend it without it breaking. Your skin cells work the exact same way. If you are dehydrated, your wrinkles will look much deeper than they actually are. Sometimes simply drinking 2 extra glasses of water a day can iron out fine lines better than any cream. The water you drink also helps flush out the waste products that accumulate in your skin. If your cells are busy fighting off toxins because you aren't flushing them out, they cannot focus on rebuilding collagen. It is like trying to renovate a house while it is full of trash. You have to clear the debris first. Stay with me here. I want to give you a simple power snack recipe that combines everything we have discussed. It is easy to make and covers all your bases. Take a small cup of plain Greek yogurt. Add half a cup of sliced strawberries or kiwi for your vitamin C. Sprinkle on a tablespoon of chopped walnuts or sunflower seeds for your vitamin E. That is it. In that one small bowl, you have protein, healthy fats, antioxidants, and hydration. It is the perfect fuel for your skin. If you are vegan or don't eat dairy, you can do the same thing with oatmeal. Cook your oats, then stir in the fruit and nuts right at the end so the heat doesn't destroy the vitamin C. It is a warm, comforting way to start your day knowing you are doing something good for your body. Finally, I want to address the timeline. We live in a world that promises instant results. But biology is slow. Your skin takes about 28 days to renew itself when you are young, but after 60, that cycle can take 40 to 50 days. This means the changes you make today might not show up in the mirror for 2 months. Do not get discouraged. The work is happening deep underground where you cannot see it yet. Think of it like planting a garden. You plant the seeds, you water them, and for weeks you see nothing but dirt. But eventually the green shoots break through. Your skin is the same. Keep feeding it the right nutrients, keep protecting it with vitamin E, and keep the blood flowing. The results will come. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't just help your skin. The same vitamin C that builds collagen also strengthens your blood vessels and supports your immune system. The same vitamin E that protects your skin also protects your brain and your eyes. By focusing on these simple, whole foods, you are uplifting your entire health, not just your appearance. If videos like this help you, hit subscribe to Her Health After 60 and click the notification bell so you never miss a tip. To recap, your skin needs vitamin C to build collagen and vitamin E to protect it. And you can get both from simple foods like peppers, berries, almonds, and sunflower seeds. Even small daily steps can help you feel steadier, safer, and more confident in your body as you age. This video is for education only and is not personal medical advice. Always check with your own doctor before changing your diet or exercise routine.